community benefit agreement to the city of South Fulton, and they are in discussions with them now. Joining us today are the four members of College Park City Council, except we are missing one. Is she coming? So allow me to, okay, that's perfect. So three of the members are here, three of the four. So please allow me to introduce our city council members who are here. We have City Council Member Jamel McKenzie from Ward 1. From Ward 2, Council Member Joe Karn. Council Member Tracy Arnold from Ward 3 is not here. And from Ward 4, Member and Mayor Pro Temp Roderick Gay. Nextera has plans to develop an energy storage facility in College Park, and joining us from Nextera, we have the project director, Melissa Schroeder, the lead community development manager, Jarrett Daniels, their attorney, Harold Buckley Jr., and their consultant, Steve Smith. With this project, the Nextera team is excited to bring the City of College Park a unique opportunity for a $400 million technology investment that will bring high-skilled construction jobs as well as high-paying technical jobs, in addition to a huge economic boost to the area and a substantial increase in tax revenue that can be used to support infrastructure, schools, and other economic development of the city's choosing. A facility like this could be vital to building a clean energy future and a strong electrical grid. This team will be working tirelessly with the City of College Park and the community to build a project that everyone can be proud of. From the City of South Fulton, we have Economic Director Artie Jones. Is Artie Jones here? And also members of his team, as well as other community members from South Fulton. So we will begin with our council members providing an overview of their intended uses of the funds for their ward. And we will begin with Council Member Jamel McKenzie, and then Council Member Karn, and then Council Member Gay. Okay, so we can do it all mixed together. Are you going to be using your presentation at this time? Okay, I will turn the mic over to you.
Good evening, everyone. We actually just submitted some of the projects, so it's not like a Ward 1, 2, 3, it's 4, it's just general projects. But I just want to begin with just a statement to the community. First of all, I want to say that community is everything. And we have a wonderful community here in College Park. This is Georgia's Global Gateway Community and Hospitality Center. And we're in an amazing time of transition and new beginnings in our city. Over the next 12 months, we're going to experience some groundbreaking new developments, phenomenal projects, and that's fantastic for us as a city. However, we also want you to know that with these amenities, our community will continue to grow and to thrive. My excitement about this grant being offered to us by Nextera is that it allows us, as a governing body, to offer services and initiatives to our residents without having to spend taxpayer dollars. One of my concerns has been, over the years as a citizen in this city, that when we were asking for things to be done, we were told over and over again that there was no money. And in order to fund those projects, it would mean that we could have an increase in taxes. It was important to me when I became elected to make sure that the city had funds of revenue that did not rely totally on our taxpayer property taxes. So I'm grateful for the public-private partnership that Nextera has formed with our city over the past 3 years. And this is 3 years in the making. I think they've been here. I'll ask if you would silence your phones, please, if you're going to remain in the auditorium. So I'm grateful for this public-private partnership. And not only has this happened over 3 years, but I'm looking forward to the continuance of this partnership, not only with Nextera, but with so many of the companies that do business in the city of College Park. As far as the rezoning of the 60-plus acres that will house this battery storage facility, I'm grateful that our city will participate in technology, which John Duke will share a little bit about that will provide clean energy. My predecessor, who was an electrical engineer, worked diligently to champion this particular project and to ensure that all of the 13 specific safety protocols were put in as a condition for this facility to take residence in College Park. I was also happy to see that my predecessor participated in Nextera's giving back to our community. Last year in February of 2023, Ambrose was participated in the giving of a $15,000 grant from Nextera to College Park Elementary School right here in Ward 1. So they have been, did you have, okay, well, if you could hold it, okay. So basically, this company has been giving back to our city for the past 3 years. It didn't just start last Monday night. At first, I had my concerns about establishing a battery facility in College Park. And as though many of you have seen the video of that night in 2021, when I expressed my concerns, those concerns were based on the fact that people were concerned. It was not based on having knowledge of the project. When the project came back up again in 2023, I spoke with my councilman, an over an hour conversation, and he broke down as an electrical engineer and as a city council person the benefits of a project such as this and how it was cutting edge and what it would do not only for College Park in terms of revenue and creating jobs, but that it would also be a project that was going to be embraced by the nation as a whole. And for those of you that may be aware, our governor is championing programs such as this. So I had my concerns, but after I did my research in 2023, I did not speak in the meeting in 2023 on August 7th because I'd already realized that this project was good for the city and that the people of South Fulton were also being spoken to and that there were amends being made for that community. I realized that it was safe. I realized the value that this rezoning would bring, as well as the impact that it would make on our environment, as well as generate additional revenues for our city. In addition, what caused me to even make my decision on last Monday night was I studied and I researched and I realized that the Planning Commission on several occasions of the City of College Park recommended to the City Council to rezone this project. On June 28, 2021, unanimously, Kasim Latipo, Pat Zachary, and Ryan Taylor all voted in unison. They were the only ones present and unanimously voted to have this project taken to the City Council and recommended the rezoning. And then again, on June 26, 2023, before the August 7th meeting, Planning Commission members Kasim Latipo, Lisa Spivey, and Kelly Sutton all voted in favor of this project, recommending this to the City Council to be rezoned. As council persons, we don't just pull rabbits out of the hat. We make our decisions based on what the experts bring to us. We have commissions and boards in this city that are determined to do the homework, to do the hard work, and bring the recommendations. And every single board member or commission member of this city has a very important responsibility to get the facts, make a determination, and decide whether or not it will be brought back to the City Council. This project has been brought back to the City Council on 4 occasions. It's not often that private industry makes it a point to give back to the community where they make money and do business. However, in this instance, we have a company that stresses the importance of seeing their communities grow and thrive in concert with their own interests. It's not just all about them, but they want to definitely take care of those communities. I urge everyone as we get ready to go further into this information session to do your own research. Don't rely on bits and pieces that you receive through an email or on a website or in a Facebook group. Don't just jump on the bandwagon without having all the facts. Stay informed and keep an open mind. And let's not get caught in the sticks and the weeds. Great things are happening in College Park every single day. All of us woke up this morning. We're here. That's a miracle from God. Let's work together to create a thriving city and community surrounding that is known for cohesion. Let's work together to create a community and a thriving city that is known for cohesion and strength rather than divisiveness, can't even say the word because it's so wicked, and weakness. At this time, I'd like to call your attention to the slideshow. These are some of the community initiatives that council members of the City of College Park have spoken to their constituents. Some of these are projects that we have wanted to have funded. I'm brand new again. This is my 88th day in office. I'm brand new to the seat, but I am not brand new to the community. And we've heard your voices, and we want to do all that we can do to create a thriving community in College Park. So I won't speak them all, but I think as the screen goes, you can look at some of the programs. And some of the programs, some of these we may have them in place, but we don't have the funding that we need. So initiatives such as this grant will also fund or supplement those programs. So let's say that there's something that we want to do in the community, and it's $15,000, and it's only had $5,000 budgeted for us. This particular pot will allow us to be able to do just that and be able to be a blessing back to our community. So at this time, I'm going to ask if John Duke will come, and that he will come. He's going to share some things. I think we're all familiar with him, but just to talk a little bit on what battery storage supplies are. We're not taking questions at this time. We will take questions at the end, and I'm not the moderator. So, John Duke.
Who is the moderator?
Hold on, man. Just wait. They're going to give you an opportunity to ask any question that you need to ask. Okay, so right now, let me know.
Hello. John Duke will be coming up, but let me just answer some of your questions real quick. One, first of all, I forgot to acknowledge that our interim city manager is also here, Dr. Emmanuel Adedira, and he's here. And someone told me I neglected to introduce myself. I am Cameron Preston, and I am the communications director for the City of College Park.
And the agenda for tonight. It'd be nice to have known before I raised my hand that there was going to be an opportunity for public questions.
That's actually what I'm addressing right now, which is once the people who are doing this presentation are done, they will open up the floor for public comment and question. But I wanted to make sure that you had that officially. Thank you.
Mr. Duke. That's not Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here to provide just some clarity and some perspective. I'm not here to defend nor support any of the legislation done by the council. I'm here specifically just to provide some clarity. But second of all, I'd like to say I don't disregard anyone's opinion or some of the activism that's been done. I think that's great. I'm proud American, and this is how democracy works. So with that, I'm just going to have 4 slides here. And so just to give me some my credentials here and just speaking on this topic, I have had a solar system at my house for nearly a decade now, and I have done a lot of work with the Public Service Commission, who is oversight over Georgia Power, and worked with MEAG a little bit here. So I've kind of studied the electrical grid a bit, and like I said, I've had a solar system for almost 10 years. And so with that, I'm just going to start. I'm going to give just kind of an overview of the trends in America, where we're headed, and then I'm going to kind of bring it down to Georgia, and then I'm going to give a little personal story touch to all of this. So I've been in the community for 25 years, and hopefully you know who I am, and maybe I'm a trusted source just to give, like I say, some perspective. So the first slide I have here is the data on what's happening in Texas. So California is a blue state. We'll talk about the polarization of our country a little bit here. But the point I want to make, there's a point here. And so California is a blue state. They have about over 7,000 megawatts of battery storage systems to stabilize their grid right now. And in fact, this spring, they're producing 100% of their electricity from renewable energy, 6 to 8 hours a day right now in the spring, because there's low demand. But I'm not going to get into the weeds of how the grid actually works. And so Texas, a red state, also has 3.5 gigawatts of battery storage systems in their grid to stabilize it, and it actually saved them from rolling blackouts last summer due to the excessive heat waves that came through. And right now, today, Texas is adding 2,500 megawatts of battery storage systems every year now. And so they will soon catch California and go on. And so it's happening also in other states in not as high of capacity. So the point is this is the trend that's happening. So you go to the next slide.
Yes, sir.
That's not it. Yeah, this one here. Yeah. So these are the batteries that I use. We have lithium battery for power equipment in my house. I have a fully electric Chevrolet Bolt EV. I've had it for 5 years, and it's got a big 64 kilowatt hour battery in the floorboard. And lastly, I have a 10 kilowatt hour battery on the side of my house, and it's been there for 5 years as well. So, we're using, batteries are becoming more and more a part of our life. You go to the next one. What's the next one? God. Oh yeah, so this is, that's a close-up of the house battery. All right. So, just, to give from, again, perspective, I've never been fearful of my house, anything going wrong with this battery. And just as a story, so a personal story with my EV, you might know of the recall on the Chevrolet Bolt. If you could go to the next slide. So this is a slide just showing, what the relative risk of things that occur in our life every day. So the one on the far left is the risk of a death by tornado. And so last year there was one tornado death in Georgia. And so the risk of tornado death is 0.00001. And there's a little table at the bottom here. That number's gotten from 1 out of 10.5 million people, which is the population of Georgia. So the next one to the right is the chances of my Chevrolet Bolt battery catching on fire. There was a recall on my car because of that issue. But there were only 12 out of 141,000 that did this. So the chances of my Bolt battery catching on fire was 0.1%, 0.01. So driving deaths in Georgia last year were 1,982. And so if you're a driver in Georgia and you have a driver's license, the chances of you dying driving is 0.03. And if we keep moving on over, the chances of a gasoline car catching on fire, not for mechanical reasons, just for maybe electrical reason or something like that, is 0.05. There are 200,000 early deaths from air pollution in the United States every year, and that's from 2.5 particulate matter, which is mostly produced from the combustion of fossil fuels. And so you can look up what 2.5 particulate matter is, but a tenth of a percent of people in the United States will die every year, early deaths, due to breathing poor air quality from the combustion of fossil fuels. The fatality rate for malaria, if 100 of us in this room were bitten by a mosquito and got malaria, 99 of us would survive that sickness, 1 of us would die, statistically. And if you're a smoker and you've smoked for many, many decades, and if 100 of us in this room are decade-long smokers, 10 of us will die of lung cancer. So these are the risks that we face every day. I could go on all kinds of risks. And the odds of a battery plant catching on fire probably falls somewhere between the odds of a tornado death and my Chevy Bolt catching on fire. So just to give you a personal story about how unafraid I am of this risk, Chevrolet kept bugging me to replace my battery, and I wouldn't do it. And the reason I wouldn't do it is because I had charged it hundreds of times in my driveway, and I knew that if it had not caught on fire yet, it was never going to catch on fire. So finally, when my car had 75,000 miles, my wife bugged me enough to go get the new battery for free. So I finally took it in, and I did do it. But there was really, no risk that I was actually concerned about. So anyway, that's perspective I have to offer you, and hope that helps.
We can move on to the other council people who have something to add to the discussion, and then we will open the floor for public comment until around 6:30. We're going to try to ask you to keep your comments to 3 minutes, but it's not as strict. We don't have a timer here like a council meeting, but we would like to have everybody get a chance to speak. So we'll have the council members speak, and then we will open the floor for public comment. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Roderick Gay, and I'll be brief. I promise you I will not be as articulate as Councilwoman McKenzie or Dr. Duke. But I might want to just make a few comments. Dr. Duke, James just did a great analysis about the risk. My comments are not organized. I didn't write a speech. But so I'm just kind of talk as it comes to me. My father lived on Old Fairburn Road. I'm a fourth generation South Fulton native. 4 generations I can count how far I go back to the city of South Fulton. And I'm gonna tell you before I say another word, this message is not actually to change nobody's heart. It's not to make nobody walk out the door and feel any better. Because that's not gonna happen. What this is for me to tell you my perspective, and then we go from there. Another thing is, a lot about where we, first of all, how many people in here are from Ward 4? Raise your hand. If you're from this Ward 4, raise your hand. If you're from College Park, Ward 4, please raise your hand. Okay.
I'm from College Park.
All right, Ward 4, ma'am, and 2 minute more outbursts, and I'm gonna ask you to be taken out the room, because we're trying to have a respect for me. So let me finish. We have order, So the next thing is, let me finish my presentation, and then it'll be your time to say what you want to say. So the next thing is, and that brings me to my next point. Most of why we're here is not even about this battery storage plant. There are some people here who are genuinely concerned about this battery plant, and I know a lot of those people. But the majority of people in this room, it's not even about this battery plant. It's about yet another opportunity to affect your political agenda, to cast disparity and doubt on this all African American leadership. Hey, so that being said, there's a Facebook post called Speak Up College Park. So my mother told me this: you treat people the way they treat you. So why I said that is this: we don't generally watch those social media posts. But if you were to read those social media posts and you didn't have, a choice in this matter, if you just read the Facebook post, you may say that there are a lot of division that's coming out here. So I say it again, yet to me, this is just another opportunity, because it's some of the same people. I'm watching you, I'm looking at you right now. Some of the exact same people. If it ain't Nextera, it was something else. It's fine or this. It's always something. So we got that out the way. Now, let me tell you about my father. He's deceased. But my father had Alzheimer's. And when he lived on Old Fairburn Road, they was trying to put a sidewalk in front of his house. The very first house on Old Fairburn up on the hill. And my father spent about almost a month arguing with the contractors. He just could not get comfortable with a sidewalk. Not a battery storage plant, but a sidewalk. And now that he's gone, I think about my father, and what he basically was saying was that this is my yard, this is my house, this is my personal space, and I don't want a sidewalk, period. So I get it. The next thing I want to say is, I've been on council since 2015. When I first got elected, and another thing you should know is that my great-grandmother is from White City Road, Eula Gay. My grandfather is from White City Road. My great-uncle was the cab driver in College View housing projects. My father brought us to College Park when we were little to visit my grandmother. Now, I'm telling you this for a reason about White City Road. Watch this. Now, listen. Two years when I got elected, and we're going to address the elephant in the room. 2 years after I got elected, they wanted to put a warehouse on Roosevelt Highway. Now, everybody know I don't like warehouses. I do not care. I know they're necessary. I know that's how we get our commerce. I know that's how we get our goods and services. But I just felt with College Park being only 15 square miles We do not want a warehouse. The trucks are heavy, our infrastructures are poor. And for those that are looking at me, I'm gonna tell you what I told my colleague. Again, I'm about finished. My intent is not to change your heart. My intent is not to make you like me. My intent is not to make you even agree with me. This is my time to talk. So anyways, that being said, I went to Red Oak and I knocked on every door. I knocked on every door on Kent, every door on Janice Drive. I knocked on every door. I had people lined up from there to there. I had the wheelchairs here. I had might be some of the same people, and they were passionate about a warehouse. We had Artie Jones, who is the Economic Development Director for the city of South Fulton. As our economic development, we had the late Jack Longino, Councilman Wyatt, Councilman Clay, Councilman Corn. I was determined, I'm gonna be the environmental advocate. I'm gonna fight for environmental injustice. I'm that guy. But you're not gonna do that to my community. You're not gonna do that where my great-grandmama lived. No, you're not. I had this room packed with people. We had 2 sessions of public comment. The mayor told me, you can bring everybody in this city in this room. My decision is set. Now that's what he told me. Okay. So we had to vote, and the vote passed, and there's a warehouse. Now watch this. The warehouse is at Roosevelt and White City Road. About a year later, the warehouse people made the people whole. They literally went back. There was a few houses that they wanted to make the lots contiguous. So they went and paid and relocated those homeowners. The church on Janice Drive, I got AC unit, parking lot, fence. Preacher had me to the church. They thank me to this day. Watch this. My wife and I, who ran for mayor, and I ran 3 times. So that's 5. So my wife and I went and saw one of the gentlemen's. My wife and I, you know, the reason why I'm pausing is because I actually had doubt that I should take some responsibility. But now I'm starting to get an energy that maybe this isn't even about what I thought some of these people were. This just may be so let me get back to, so my wife and I saw the man who was the biggest advocate down here doing all that screaming and all that cussing. You know what that man told me? Get the hell out my yard. I said, what? I found out a couple things. My father, change is difficult. Change is very, very difficult. The second thing I found out is this. A lot of people, they're not really mad about the issue. They got their own emotions, their own agenda. That's why they're here. And I'm almost finished. Now let me just say this and bring this to home. When I was in the 12th grade, I did electrochemical detector and ozone-induced effects on the cellular structures of alien simple cells. I studied things about electricity that some people living would never know. Okay? I used to attend science fairs. The only African American to this day that ever went to the International Science Fair in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, watch this, I'm not finished. I went to Georgia Tech. I didn't like the attitude, so I went to HBCU. I went to Tuskegee where I was welcome. Okay, so watch this. Watch this. And I'm about finished. Obama, Herschel Walker, the governor, got hundreds of millions of dollars in campaign debt in campaign contributions. 100. Walker got campaign donations. We all got campaign donations. Obama, I sent him $100. So let me ask you a question. Every time a politician make legislation, do you think Obama can worry about them $10 you send him? He got to make decisions for the betterment of your life. Now, I'm almost finished, but let me just tell you one thing. For anybody who would be so, I don't even know if it deserved a response, but for anybody who would think that supporting a festival that you can come for free and eat free and dance free, and I do it for the last 8 years, and for you to go on social media and to say something that a few dollars would make us do something as magnanimous as well. Let me tell y'all something, and I'm done. I talked to the fire chief today. I talked to the power director today. The only thing I learned was this. One said, Councilman Gay, the bottom line is the fire. It don't make noise. It don't smell. It's just a fire. And then he tells me, he says, listen, we couldn't put it out. So I got to talking. I said, well, the 3 gas tanks on Virginia Avenue, the 3 gas tanks where the petroleum pipeline runs through College Park, if it caught on fire, the airport couldn't put it out. Watch this. If you ever been to the Garvey Road Post Office, across the street, it's a data mining center. Guess what, people? It has more power than I'm talking to Lane, and one of them pods that they building. But I don't see the people on social media talking about that. Nor do I see you on social media saying that Councilman Ambrose Clay, for 17 years, this is his legislation. He's the electrical engineer, not her, not him, not me. Ambrose is the electrical engineer. He championed this. And you ain't wrote one iota on Facebook about him. So that lets me know that, ma'am, I'm not finished. I'm almost there. I'm almost finished. The last thing I want to say, and this will be explained because I told you when I got up here, I'm not as articulate. So this will be explained more that you can understand. But the last thing I tell you is this. Someone told me today, the AGC reporter, when we talked today, I told her, she says, oh, but you sponsored it, right? I said, no, I didn't sponsor it. The city manager put it on the agenda. I asked her to put it on the agenda. I said, I asked her to put it on the agenda. But wait, but here's something, and here's what's going to get all of y'all. You know, and if it's funny, that's good, because humor's like what you need right about now. You might need a little humor. You might need a little, feel a little bit good. But here's what I'll tell you. Since I'm speaking to a lot of different people from a lot of different perspectives, here's what I tell you. We did a motion to renew a motion. Now, I'm going to leave that right there. But I will tell you this, in closing. Keep writing your social media posts. Keep saying all your foul and divisive stuff. Keep acting out. But guess what? For those that are here for those reasons, the election is over. It's time for you all to move on. Those of you who are not in College Park, I have every belief that this is an environmental, sustainable product that is going to bring value to the community. And the last thing I'll tell you is this. The power that we get right now, I talked to 7 people today, not one could answer. The power that we get now comes from Plant Vogel. It don't come from Georgia Power. They just a marketer. The power that runs your lights, that are running these lights, come from Plant Vogel. Where's Plant Vogel? Near somebody's house, near somebody's neighborhood. So guess what? We are enjoying power from a community that have similar concerns as you do. But watch this. If a nuclear reactor went out at Plant Vogel, hypothetically, and we didn't get power for a month, just like we didn't get water for 2 days, we were out of our mind. The news were all down here. 2 days without water. If the power source went out, how is it that the great South Fulton region has enough power to power our community? This is clean energy. We on the leading edge of technology. Be proud that, yes, it may be uncomfortable, but be proud that College Park had the courage to make decisions to bring clean energy, resources, and the millions of dollars, not the money for the festival, but the millions of dollars that we get keeps us from having to pay the millage rate. I wanted to start initiatives for seniors to go down and have events. One of my initiatives were LGBT awareness, anti-gangs. Some more of my initiatives were to do markers where there were people who have died and gone. We had the first of a lot of prominent, I can go on and on for my initiatives. So we have really great initiatives. So thank you for your time. My name is Roderick Gay. I'm the Mayor Pro Tem. Have a good evening.
All right, well, Councilmember Gay, tell us how you really feel. Most of y'all know who've lived here that Councilman Gay is, he's a tough act to follow. So how's everybody doing this evening, first thing? All right, well, I tell you it was a great day weather-wise, but we're here to, give you all some additional information. Now, I'm not going to speak in terms of the decision that was made Monday. The different council members, the governing body made the decisions. Everyone's decision is not the same, so I'm not going to speak to that or defend that or criticize any decisions made as a body. But one thing that I am a proponent of, and I do support our community benefits and the community involvement. I believe that each business, should leave the city a little bit better than how they found it coming into office. Community service has always been a big part of any city's existence. And I think the same applies to College Park as well. These partnerships, they do enable businesses that are entering into the city, a chance to see and understand what goes on within the city. These partners, we want them to integrate into the city in more ways than just doing business. There are dozens, hundreds of cities in Georgia as well as throughout the country that have community partnership agreements. This is something that we are working towards in College Park. Now, we've been doing this in the past in drips and drabs, but we're going to work at and look at codifying something into policy in terms of community benefits from all businesses that come into this city that do business with the city, because it's not just a business relationship. It is supposed to be a community relationship as well. In terms of what we are doing, the full plan is currently in the process of implementation. We're working towards that goal. Usually one of the requirements in this type of plan is that, there must be specific, actionable, measurable results, outcomes in terms of intent, and what we're doing that's going to directly benefit the neighbors in the community. The overall benefits, they're going to be, of course, earmarked for community-based city projects only. Goes without saying. These benefits are going to be spread and distributed throughout the entire city of College Park, including to disadvantaged neighborhoods as well. When we complete it, we'll have a summary of the community benefits plan for everyone. It's going to be publicly available. It's going to be transparent and with full accountability, as all of our policies are. So again, I can only speak to making sure that we set the example in terms of if something's coming into our community, and whether or not something does, in any governing body, everyone is not going to necessarily agree. Obviously, you have a democracy. People are going to choose based on what they see is best for their individual areas or best for the city as a whole. One thing I can tell you is that I think this governing body as a whole truly strives to put our residents first. And I believe every vote that they take is with those intentions. Do we always agree on the votes? No. But I think everybody has the best intentions for our residents and benefits to our residents in mind when we do make a decision. Again, I'm not going to speak to the decision that was made, but one thing I can tell you, and I think someone did mention on several occasions, the city's planning commission, which are our city residents, they did vote to approve the zoning change for this facility, and that was on 2 separate occasions. Councilmember Clay, who I've worked with up here many, many, many years, he did vote to approve the same project, and that's just a matter of fact. And there was no pushback. There was no pushback from his community regarding his decision. So I will just put that out there, and that's just a matter of fact. But outside of that, I wanted to kind of speak to you in terms of what we were planning on doing and how we were going to implement this type of programming for businesses that come in, developers that work with the city. We're going to make sure that the community does benefit as other communities benefit when corporate partnerships come into the city, and they make sure that that happens. So we're going to make sure our residents get the same. So that's about all I got in terms of speaking about that. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. I just have one more announcement to make. There was a bit of false advertising that was put on social media regarding this grant that we are receiving. A document was circulating, maybe 2 documents. It was an email that we were passing back and forth between Nextera and the council members, and someone apparently who had access or saw that email, well, actually the mayor put it on her website. That was inaccurate. That is not the terms. On last week, our council voted to accept a grant for $1.6 million. We did not vote on the terms. We worked back and forth on the terms. So the terms that you all saw on the internet, those were totally rejected by this governing body. I do have a copy of the new one, which will be published once the other members of the governing body are in agreement with it. But I do agree that the way that document that was posted without the permission of this governing body did make it look like this was some type of, when we do one thing, we get another thing. And that is not how we're operating in the city of College Park. I just want to make that clear. That is not how we're operating in the city of College Park. Nextera approached this governing body and wanted to give back to this community. Not one of us asked them for anything. This was something that they were already doing, and they wanted to continue to do. Did we agree to receive it? Yes. Why did we agree to receive it? Because we need all the help that we can get if we are putting our residents first. If we're putting our community first, then we need the resources that will help our people. Whether you agree with it or not, there are people that may not need assistance, but there's a lot of the poverty rate in this city is more than 26%. And that's high. Okay? So just wanted everybody to know that whatever documentation that you have seen, whether it been on a video, internet, website regarding this is inaccurate, and we will publish the correct information. And I want to invite any persons, I have a technology committee for Ward 1. I invite any person that's interested in anything that has to do with technology, battery storage, whatever, even following this project through, to contact us at oneward1.com. John Duke is a part of that, and I've been getting his advice on things ever since before I came in office. He's only one of many people. There were people that said they wanted to, but they have not stepped up yet. But I invite every single person, because we're not going to have a lot of time to answer questions, so I want to just give you some answers. Well, I'm looking at the time right now. Okay? So I'm giving you some answers. I'm giving you some answers because, well, she's already said it's not going to be questions, that it's going to be comments, okay? And being that it's going to be, Officer Porsche, isn't this out of order right now? I'm going to let...
I know you all want to express what you want to say. Please. Please just keep it down. Let them speak. And if you all get a chance, then you speak, okay?
This is an information session to give information. The moderator has made it clear that we would have comments. But because it's not a question, we're being rude, everyone. I would just ask for you to hold your peace and let's have one person speak at a time. And I am speaking right now, so I'm asking for that much respect. Thank you so much. So I'm not the moderator, but the moderator did say that this was going to be public comment. So I wanted to make sure, since I'm not going to have the opportunity to answer questions, that we could give you some answers to some of the questions that you may already have. So the comments, there will be time for the comments. I guess we're going to extend. Nextera is also going to be here at the culmination of this meeting to answer questions that people may have. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening again. Thank you again for your patience. Keeping with community, our objective today again is to talk about the community benefit agreement from the $1.6 million and how it will be utilized in our city. And we will now offer an opportunity for public comment. Please be mindful of 3 minutes. I know we've gone long and I know we've gone over, and I'll give you a nod when you're getting to that place. I'm going to go in this order: you in the blue, you there, and then you there. Okay, those are the three that are starting, and then from there we'll continue on. Would you like to stand? Thank you.
Do you want me to come up forward? Yes.
If you'd like, yes. So we can
My
hear you.
name's Millie.
If you'd like to come forward.
Take the mic. Yes, I'm Millie Gosh. I'm a very proud resident of College Park. So my question has to do with the actual order of the way things went Monday night, when I didn't understand that there was no notification, there was no sign. Pardon? Oh, sorry. There was no notification, there was no sign, and no discussion, and all of a sudden, you guys just voted this through. So my concern has to do with the actual governance that occurred, or lack thereof, okay? And also, I want to make a comment. All this 1 hour that you guys tried to justify, we're not stupid. We're really not stupid. And so let's just get real, because we love this community. We love this community. We want to be able to work together. We're tired of every time we turn around, you guys got some other little smoke and mirror thing going on. So my question, and I'd like an answer, is why it went down Monday night like it went down. Okay? Thank you.
Hello. You know my uncle, you see him every time you want to vote. I'm Ellen Hall, and I've lived in College Park since the early 50s. So I have two different parts of this. Number one, I'm going to talk about the initiatives. I was looking at the initiatives, Councilman McKenzie, and I'm in your ward on Walker Avenue. And I was looking at the initiatives, and about 3 months ago, I think, maybe 2, I've completed a survey online. I think it came from Ward 11. But what I saw there was nothing that looked like what I saw on that survey that I did. The predominant thing on the survey was safety, park conditions, police presence, cleanliness of the community. Those were the types of things that I saw on the survey that came out. but I didn't see anything with the initiatives that these people are going to fund that matched that survey. So at what point do we maybe see the results of the survey? So that's to you as my councilwoman. The second thing, I want to go back to what Millie just stated. This might be one of the best things that ever happened for College Park. I'm not going to negate that because I don't know enough John Duke to negate it. And John and I have known each other many, many years. I trust what John tells me because I know him that well. This might be the best thing for the city of College Park, but the way this happened last Monday is not the best thing for the city of College Park at all. You need to know who you're getting in bed with because we're in bed with them. I'm serious. Thank you for the time.
Somebody said it best. It said, elections have consequences, and we have our elected officials.
Turn off your phone.
Now, I don't know. You might be right. This might be the best. This might be the best, one of the best things for College Park. But the way it happened, I take issue with. Now, procedurally, because the motion failed last year, they could bring it back the way they did. I've talked about it, I've asked questions. But because they did, doesn't make it right. When they added this on at the last minute and gave it to our city manager, that was not fair. That should not have happened that way. Okay, that was the first thing. The second thing is the agreement that we have with Nextera. Where is it? Now, I genuinely am concerned about it. And I don't know that it's enough money. We're worth more than $1.6 million. A company that made $29 billion last year in revenue is going to give us what they spent on toilet paper, which is $400,000 per ward. That ain't no money. No money. So if you are going to sell us to them, make it worth it. The risk is not worth the reward. And I take issue with that. These people can't speak for themselves. Okay? So when you put this in their backyard, and I know, John, I heard the stats, but guess what? It's a chance that it may happen. And I do know that the fire department is not equipped enough to handle it. They need at least $150,000, 2 fire trucks, and 8 more staff to take care of this. That's not in any agreement I've seen. We need to be near a level 1 trauma center. But then I think 5 miles, I think Grady is 8, 9 miles, and then with traffic, they may not make it. So where is that? Where is the consideration? You made an agreement that we did not see, that nobody saw. Hand it to Dr. Emanuel. He did what he was told to do. And it was voted on. The rezoning, now, Jamel, you know, God help you, you may be right. What we saw it was not a grant. It was a contingency agreement. And I was also told somebody in Nextera said that it was not a grant. So why are y'all calling it a grant? Call it what it is. And if it is something different, show us. But we haven't seen it. So like I said, it could be good. But the way it happened, I take issue with. And I think that's why you have a lot of people, Councilman Gay, who are concerned about it, and it might be mixed in with other agendas. I get it. But at the end of the day, we all are here. And if something happens to that plant, our property values are gone. People's lives are lost. And we cannot recover. So, John, I get what you said about, and I appreciate it. I don't think that applies to me and us and what we're talking about here. It just doesn't. And I'm not satisfied with this explanation or the way it happened, because it happened so quick. and it is clandestine almost, and it may be right, but it gave a feel of impropriety. And we, especially now, do not need any acts or any kind of actions that may have some sort of sprinkle of impropriety. So just let us know, and let us be able to talk about it, and let us ask questions to get it out so we can all be on the same page. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Wendy Tenery. I live on Walker Avenue. And I just agree, I can't really follow that. That was so impassioned, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate you, John Duke. I really respect your opinion and everything you have to say. And I don't know enough either to really talk about the plant. But I really don't like how things have been going since January 1st. And you know, in the first meeting, I feel like the council just added tens of thousands of dollars to the budget, and Carnes said, I don't know where it's going to come from, but we'll figure it out. And that's not acceptable for the city that I live in. I don't want to run things that way, to just make big decisions and sweeping motions and then figure it out later. This list up here is a joke, like birthday initiatives and yard sales. We already do that. I think that's insulting. And Councilwoman McKenzie, you said you chastised us for over 5 minutes for not doing research. And first of all, how can we do the research when you threw the agenda item on at the very last second, and then no one discussed what it was about or where it came from? We weren't allowed that information, so that's ridiculous. And I've tried 3 times to make a meeting with you, and you told me once that you'd been in office for 16 days. One time it went wasn't responded to on the website, and the last time you said you're redecorating your office, which I totally respect the right to redecorate your office, but you should find another place to hold meetings in the meantime, because now we're 3 months in and no one's been able to have a meeting with you one-on-one. So in my opinion, that's negligence, and it's very condescending, and I'm insulted that you guys keep trying to pass all this without making us fully aware. So I just wanted to say my piece.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Sherry Godfrey. I'm happy to see so many people out this evening. I think the biggest problem with this, whether you agree with the battery storage facility, how you feel about batteries, you think they're great or not, John, I appreciate your time coming out this evening and sharing your perspective with us. The problem is this is something that happened to us and it did not happen with us. When we heard about this, that was it, and people need to understand who we're partnering with. There's a lot of litigation with Nextera right now, and a lot of allegations about legislative and regulatory control and them influencing government bodies to create environmentally friendly environments so that they can fulfill their agendas, and we need to know about that. And we were robbed of the opportunity to express how we feel about it, how we feel about partnering with this entity. This one battery facility won't be the end. They're strategic about how they operate and who they choose and what government entities they choose to purchase so that they can partner with them.
I live on Yates Road. So I'm really here to get clarification, because I also had heard that you guys, they coming on Yates Road. So is that true? Are they coming on Yates Road? Because we was told that was going to be a 55 and something facility across from my mother's house. And then they said, no, the battery's coming. You guys, I've been here since David Scott, and I don't know, he was a city manager. And he fought and fought and fought with College Park because College Park did not have affordable housing. So y'all talking about all this money, what you want to do? We got people that need affordable housing here. You know, I don't know what y'all gonna do with the money. But if y'all gonna take the money, y'all need to consider these people. I'm a native of College Park. My grandmama worked for T. Smith, who was the chief of police. My aunt kept Jack Longino. So I am a College Park person. So, like my mama, 87 years old. I live right down the street from Lester Chapel United Methodist Church. So, these are rumors, so I'm just here to get clarification. Are you guys coming on Yates Road? Okay, well, I just need to know what I need to do with my mom. Thank you.
So it's interesting, she spoke about her mom before she got up here. I lost both of my parents within 30 days of each other last year. And I've been watching this council do things for months, sitting back talking to my wife like, you see that BS? And do you see that BS? But I didn't do anything. But every now and then you got to get hit in the mouth before you respond. They're building this plant within a quarter of a mile away from my parents' home. It's in the woods that I rode my bike through, the woods that I played in. And that's when I felt like I got hit in the mouth. I like to make videos of my kids, and many of y'all have seen my kids on social media before. We make little cute videos about the news. I show the fun things at the aquarium, but I know how to communicate. And I said, you know what? This council right here, they thrive on the fact that only 50 people are watching the YouTube. They thrive on the fact that nobody's paying attention. So let's do something where people can see it. And maybe they'll get engaged, maybe they'll come out, and maybe they'll begin to hold these people accountable. They continue to lie to us. They're lying to us right now. Does it still say grant up there? They're lying to us. It is not a grant. Someone just lied to us a minute ago claiming that there was a fake paper put up. Let me tell you how that paper got into my video. I filed a Freedom of Information request with them and said, what is the supplemental paper that you all were talking about? Please send it to me. I got an email back within 48 hours of that paper, and then that's when I put it in my video. They are lying to us at every stage. It's not a grant, and I hope that they show us another grant that College Park has gotten into that first started out for the rezoning. The thing that scares me the most about what we're showing the entire world is that if you want property beside the world's busiest airport, it costs $1.6 million. In a couple of years, FIFA is coming to Atlanta. Y'all want to buy property outside of the world's busiest airport? $1.6 million. Doesn't matter if it harms its residents. Doesn't matter if it harms the community. It's only $1.6 million. I don't have a lot of money, but I bet I could find $1.6 million. It's not even no money. They're lying to us. And you know what, I'm just excited. My whole thing was, I hope that more people pay attention. You know what, the funny part about it, Karn and I, we go way back. I designed book covers for Karn. I worked on his campaigns way back in the day. We go way back. Jamil, I was happy when Jamil ran because I said she's done all the things that someone should do to run for council. I don't know this guy, but I do know he made my job a whole lot easier if I decide to make part 3 of my videos. All I gotta do is just play it from beginning to end. I'm so excited to see so many people out here supporting my friends, my family. These are people whose dinner tables I ate at as a kid, and I know that they are so excited to see the energy that's coming from, to see you all out here to support them. So thank you all so much.
Good evening, everyone. I actually live in the city of South Fulton. Harold, I know Harold very intimately, as we've had a little rezoning issue with a property adjacent to mine. So to that end, I think I can speak to the fact that when we talk about this grant not being something that maybe the city did not approach them with, and Harold, so please don't take this as a dig, but I know how these companies operate. When they come into a community and they want something, they make gestures and offers. It happened when my property was at stake. They tried to give some money to the community association that was fighting against them. And the community association rejected it because they felt like the water quality was more important than than accepting the terms of any payout that was coming per parcel that they were offering. A few other things that I kind of, Mr. Walker, you were spot on. One of my biggest concerns as a South Fulton resident overall of this 8-city community that we all live in, we take $1.6 million. I would have loved to have seen something that said that there was a study to get us a certificate of need so that we can get a Trauma One center down here. You're passing legislation to allow a rezoning of a facility while while the chances of it may be slim, the reality of it is, if it does happen, this is a multi-jurisdictional response that has to take place. So Clayton County needs training. South Fulton needs training. Who else needs training in order to be able to put out this fire? While the reality is a data center may not has more power, the reality is it's also enclosed and it also has a fire suppression system. It is not out in the open, and it's not going to do, I'm not going to say it's not going to do as much damage or much harm, but I'm worried about air quality. We already got air quality issues in our community. So the reality is, y'all sold all the South Fulton out for $1.6 million. And as a community, and I used to be a part of Aerotropolis, so I know how this gets down. We need to come together and work together. I'm still disappointed that we couldn't get together to get USA Soccer to come in. You don't even get me started on that. There was a comment that was made about transparency and research being done. If that research was so tantamount to decisions being changed and the understanding, I'm not here to dispute whether it's good or bad, but the opportunity to bring a community together was just bypassed for the sake of $1.6 million. Again, we need to work together. And I'm gonna end with this one. Mr. Carnes, I know you for quite a long time right now. To vote no, but to sit there silently and allow that thing to walk on the agenda with no comment, you did a disservice to the people who thought they put you here to stop that. You went even further to go for this $400,000 grant. My child is worth more than $400,000. So you sat there and accepted the terms knowing good time well that the votes were there to get done what y'all wanted to get done. But the people in Ward 4 could always come back and say, well, Councilman Carnes voted no. When really you are just as complicit as the others.
We've got 15 more minutes and about that many more comments. 36912, and that's it. Thank you.
Good evening, good evening. Look, my name is Keith Hutchinson. I was born and raised in College Park, and I think quite a few lies has been told and still being told. But where I'm from, the busiest airport in the world is right there, right? Right there. And where I live on West Columbia Avenue, the apartments are gone now, but it was built on a dump. I played on the dump as a little kid. From West Columbia to Brady Gym, the only thing I have is my memories. Seeing the barrels, there was always a front end loader on left field, and the barrels being buried. Okay, blue barrel. They were buried with some type of chemical. Not only that, Yale Street was the runway. Planes were dumping forever. Right? Now, I got tears in my eyes because the last month I've been to 6 funerals from people from my old neighborhood. And they all died of some type of cancer. Okay? I don't really want to say no more because, look, I was raised up on a dump, and the neighborhood that we had right over here, the first we had to go from there to Brady Gym, right? I seen the chemical. It's just the truth. That's all I got. You know, except about these monies that you're getting, right? What you doing with it, right? And they say some can be built over here, 6 West they call it, right? But today, from Rose Street to the Golf Course Lake, they done built a road garden, Lottie Miller. They done tore apartments down, but they hadn't turned no dirt over there, period, right? Exactly, right? Exactly. You know, that's my own neighborhood, born and raised, right? Somebody want to talk later, cool, but, you know.
Hello, my name is Otelia Hampton. I live in the Sunrise community, right in the middle of where Nextera is putting this lithium battery storage. Our homes are 100 feet from one part of that. The other part at Delana Road is butting up to their properties. So these properties, this lithium battery, we did extensive research on this for the last 3 years. It was voted down twice. For a reason, they are dangerous. Even if you say it's not, if you got a home that's 100 feet from those lithium battery containers, they say it buzzes constantly 24/7. Who wants to hear that noise 24/7? My other thing is, it was $1.6 million that was approved for whatever grant or whatever they were talking about. But the President's Directive for Energy Justice 40 requires that 40% of the benefits of the projects be seeded for the minority communities where this project is going to be built. So $1.6 million is nowhere near the 40% of the benefit of these millions and billions of dollars that this company is going to make off of us.
My name is Alicia Rylander. I live in Ward 1. I agree with everything that everyone said. I'm against this fully, but my biggest thing that I have to say is that, you know, the council wanted to remove the division in the wards and all of us be one. Well, we're here as one. You think that it's mostly Ward 1 or mostly the white people that are here complaining. Well, we're doing it for our community. We're doing it for Ward 4. You're causing the division. We're all here to I am the minority. I've lived here for almost 18 years. And if I had a problem, I have no problem. I love everybody. I love my neighbors. You are causing the division. You are making it a racial thing. That should have never came out of your mouth. I take great offense to that. Because look at this room.
This is the last comment. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Wanda Mosley. I'm a resident of the city of South Fulton. And I'm here today because I'm deeply disturbed by what happened at that council meeting. It's interesting to sit here and listen and watch elected officials gaslight their constituents. You literally pose a question and then threaten to have someone removed because they answered it. It's mind-boggling that when people are put into a seat, they immediately believe it belongs to them, forgetting who put them in the seat, and then who will have the power in a few short years to put someone else in that seat. And so my message today really is for the residents and for all of us in southern Fulton County. Because as was mentioned earlier, this affects everybody, all of the municipalities, all of the cities. You know, we talk about what might happen, what could happen. It's already been mentioned by my neighbor that we're not ready when it happens. We are not prepared to be able to take care of ourselves. You know, let's be clear, any type of disaster has no respect for any municipal boundaries. That whatever it is that leaks or comes through is going to affect all of us. And so I say to each of y'all, remember the power that you have. Do not feel powerless in this moment. Be empowered, organized, not just on social media, but in person. Look to the people in the community who have the ability to come to these meetings and then report back. Look to the folks who are documenting this information that they tried to hide. Understand and remember the things that were said today. Remember that awful example of Plant Vogel. That's $17 billion over budget. Remember the failed comparison of a warehouse and a sidewalk. And ask yourself, are these the people you want running your city? Elections have consequences. You have power. Continue to organize outside of the people that you put in these seats. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Aaron Hill on, where do I live? Parkview Drive. I've done this for a long time. I've been in leadership positions, retired from the military, and been a school administrator in 6 different states, several councils. My wife is actually on city council, so I followed her very closely. I believe that you could dot every I, cross every T, and be fully transparent with everything that you do, and everybody's still not going to agree. So, you want these seats? You got to run for them. Did everybody here vote? Don't know. But right now, this is what we have. So we can continue to throw dirt at them, or we can try to inspire them to do what's good for our city. If you're so opposed to batteries, go home, throw away all your batteries. When we get this money, stay off the parks. Whatever contributions they provide, this is how you close out a meeting. This is how you shut down the party. Then just don't take advantage of it. Or raise $1.6 million and give it to the council, and then I hope you all don't walk away. Or I hope you can give another $1 million. That might shut them down. Thank you very much for your time. Bless you.
Everyone, thank you for your comments regarding the planned development in our city. Council members and representatives from Nextera will be available at the end of this meeting to speak with you. And thank you for participating and attending the session today. And this session is adjourned. Have a good night.